Okay, we are back, and today's lesson is going to be just a review of what we've been doing or were doing last we saw each other in person dealing with logarithms. For the logarithms, if you do not have one of the school calculators at home, I'm well aware that you need a calculator with a logarithmic button. And fortunately, if you go on to Google and just type in free online calculator, the Google online calculator that comes up does indeed have a log button, and it works just like the school calculators do. So you should be good to go there. All right, so for today's review, we're going to do 10 of them together. And then I'm going to have you try the remaining for homework. So in number 1, it's given to you in the exponential form, 10 to the x equals 80. And I'm going to start by just rewriting it in logarithmic form. So if you remember, the logarithmic form would give you x equals log 80. And if you remember even more that if you don't have a base number, that means base 10. And base 10 is what your calculator log button will do. So then just punching in log 80 into your calculator, you should get an answer of approximately 1.90. It says here, round to the nearest hundredth for all of these. Okay, number 2, 10 to the x equals 4/5. Again, go back to the logarithmic form of x equals log of 4/5, because again, it would be base 10, and you can write the base 10 if you want in these, but base 10 is just your regular log, so that's why a lot of times I won't write it. And then punching this into your calculator, you should get approximately negative 0.10. Number 3, going back, we would get x equals log of 0.029, and punching that into the calculator, that's going to give me a negative 1.54 approximately. Okay, so the first 3 were good because they were all base 10. What if they're not base 10? Well, if you remember, we had a little trick to force it to become equivalent to a base 10, and that was by dividing. So in this case here, if I have a log base 4 of 165, I know that I can really do log of 165 divided by my log of 4. And doing that in the calculator, that's going to give me approximately 3.68, and you're good to go. Number 5, very similar. Again, we're going to split it up into this 2 separate. So I'm going to do my log of 343, divide that by the log of my base number here, which is 7, and putting that all into the calculator, it works out nice. We get 3. For number 6, this is a mess, I agree, but thankfully you have a calculator, and when you punch this into the calculator, because you have a log of 1, which hopefully everybody remembers what that equals, and dividing it by the log of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's just a big long way to get the answer of 0. Okay, down to number 7. Now we have logarithmic form. I'm looking for the base number, so I want to think backwards. All right, if I think about this in the exponential form, really what that tells me is that x squared equals 324. And now, hopefully you can see this is very easy to go ahead and solve. To make a square go away, I square root it, and I get a nice answer of 18 when I take the square root. So number 8, very similar again. Going from the logarithmic form back to an exponential form is going to give me an x to the 5th is 32. And then to get rid of that, I would take the 5th root of both sides, which is just going to give me 2. Number 9, Again, going from the logarithmic form back to exponential. That's going to give me x to the negative 3 power equals 1 over 27. And now this is something where if you just think about negative exponents didn't make sense. So the way that we took care of that is we flipped it. All right, and that gave us the positive exponent. So really what that means is my x to the positive 3 would be this fraction flipped upside down, which is just 27. And now I can solve that by taking the cube root of both sides, which is just going to give me x is 3. Okay, number 10, last one. And then I'm going to see what you guys can come up with for the rest of them. All right, so in this case here, I have the exponential form. All right, problem is it's not a base 10. So that's not going to work out for us. So the way we can handle this is think, the way you undo an exponential is a logarithm. And the way we solve equations is whatever we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other side of the equation. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the log of both sides. So if I write it out as a log of 8 to the x, now I want to look for properties that are there. Right here, I see the power property. I can bring that x out in front and think of this as x times the log of 8. And that would just stay as log of 140 because there is no special property that I see. But rules of algebra, now that multiplying, I'm trying to find this value of x. It's being multiplied by log of 8. So to make log of 8 go away, I can divide it away. So if I divide on both sides, those will cancel. I'm left with x is the log of 140 divided by the log of 8. And now punching that into the calculator, that's going to give me approximately 2.38. And you're good to go. So those are the kind of things that I want to see that you're looking for. For example, 13 and 14. What do I notice? I see a log base 2 equaling a log base 2. If those two logs are equal to each other, then that just means what's inside also equal each other. So set them equal to each other and solve. Log base z, log base z. Again, I've got two of the same base logs equaling each other, so I can just ignore the logs and set x squared plus 4 equal to 8. Easy problem to solve. Okay. On the back then, again, just looking for these little tricks. I want to see what you can come up with. All right, if you're stressed or if you're just not have any idea where to start, go ahead and email me and we can go back and forth with that. Number 19, don't worry about this automatic 5 extra credit points if you can solve this one. If you can solve it, great. I'll show you how to solve it next time we get together. This is something that I would offer people during class. That way I know that you're not getting extra help on that one. So you can go ahead and try it if you want. We'll go over it. But you've got 10 questions then to try for me. And Wednesday, we will go on to a brand new lesson. So, but as always, if you're working on these things and you need help or you're not sure about something, I'm online all day. So just send me a message. We'll get together and we'll work it all out. All right. Have a great day.